Hey YouTube, Splatter Trigger here, and today I'm going to be coming out with working designs collecting tips too. In today's episode is going to focus on, many of you have asked what games you should start off if you're looking into start collecting for working designs. And due to the prices on some of these games, many of you are wondering whether the cheaper titles are as exposed to the higher price, rarer titles. So this segment, I figure I'll just showcase some of the cheaper titles that are available on eBay, or even some of the ones that you can find in used video game stores, or like even PS2 ones that are in the GameStop EB bargain bins these days. So I figured I took a couple of titles from each console that they released their games on, and what I'm going to do is just show them off to you guys, see what you think, and if any of you are interested in starting to collect for working designs or just picking up some kick-ass games, hopefully this was for you. First up here would be Exile for the TurboGrafx CD. Now the reason I chose Exile is that Exile is an action role-playing game, is the best way to describe it, like a platformer with RPG elements. And Exile is very easy to come by on eBay. Strictly speaking, there was a glut of these when Working Designs Warehouse went defunct in 2005. That were still available on their website for sale. And at one point, this along with the next game I'm going to show for the TurboGrafx CD were still, like I said, selling on their website. But about a year ago, there was an eBay seller that had a whole lot of these, like every week, 2 weeks, for selling a few copies at a time. And they were actually retailing them for about $8.95, brand new games. As you can tell, this one I obviously picked up for them is still sealed. And this... Now, if that seller, I haven't been paying much attention to if they still sell them for that cheap, but generally a complete copy can get you from anywhere from $30 to $50, and if you get without the box, you can easily find this for like between $5 and $10 on eBay if you're patient and you stick around long enough. Also in that same genre would be Cosmic Fantasy 2. This is the same story as Exile with working designs out of the warehouse, and same deal. The seller on eBay at one point was selling for $8.95. These ones you got about the price range is about exactly the same as Exile. So Cosmic Fantasy 2 is basically just like I said, another RPG, and it's basically in the style of like the battles are in a style like Phantasy Star or something like that. So if you guys are interested in checking these two titles out for the TurboGrafx CD, I highly recommend them. Next up would be Vay, or as I found out not too long ago, it's pronounced Vi. And basically this is yet another RPG for the Sega CD. Now Vi here, goes out of the Sega CD games that I've seen online for sale, it generally runs as the cheapest one available, especially if you get it without the world map. Price range on this is anywhere, like I said, it depends on who the seller is, but you can get this probably for like $10 if you're, averagely a little higher price between 20 and 30. With the world map, you're probably going to push upwards of $50. But like I said, eBay is a tricky place sometimes, and you can probably find it for a lot cheaper or more expensive depending on the demand. And I couldn't go without mentioning the original Lunar for the Sega CD. Now Lunar here, because of I believe because of all the remakes, the price on this has dramatically dropped. At the time when I did my research for this title, you can actually find this for relatively cheap. I gotta say, complete around the $20 range. But once again, it can go upwards of $50, $60 for the first Lunar. But even if you're not looking into collecting for working designs and you really want to check out Lunar, the remake for the Xseed's remake for the PSP is coming out in a few weeks anyway. So you got to pick your poison basically. If you want the retro, the first edition that came stateside, here it is. If you want the newer one, well, just wait a couple of weeks. The next system I'd showcase for working designs would be the Sega Saturn, and this is a game called Iron Storm, which is a strategy World War II game. You can play either as America, Germany, or Japan. And this was actually, it's a series out in Japan. I think it's pronounced Desen Raiku. I probably really tore up that translation. But anyway, this game in particular, I've seen sold complete for $5 flat out. Now it can go, like I said, if you go by eBay prices, sometimes they go for more, sometimes it goes for less. But I've always seen this generally go between the $5 and $30 range, complete and brand new. I've actually seen them go for about the $60 to $70, which isn't too bad, I guess, for a Working Designs brand new Sega Saturn title. Next up for the Sega Saturn will be Sega Ages off of Working Designs Spaz label. This is just a collection of remakes of original Sega Genesis or Mega Drive games. I think Afterburner 2 I think is on here, Outrun, and Space Harrier. The next system I'd showcase for Working Designs would be the PlayStation 1. And I couldn't start off without showing Alundra here. Alundra, to my research thus far, I believe it's the best-selling Working Designs title that they ever released. And there's a glut of these out on the internet. You can find an incomplete copy without the map and maybe even without the instruction booklet or something for a couple of bucks. And then again with the map and whatnot, a complete copy anywhere from $25 to $30. Alundra is a great game. It's very underrated in my opinion. And even though it's sold very well, I feel a lot of people didn't truly appreciate it for what a wonderful game it was. And it's basically think of Legend of Zelda. It's almost to the T exactly the same, but it's not. You know, it's its own poison. But check it out if you guys get the chance. Next up for the PlayStation 1 would be a game called Silhouette Mirage, which was actually a treasure title that Working Designs ported over to the United States. And Silhouette Mirage, you can actually find another title that you can find a glut of these. And this, along with Alundra, were also being sold at the time of Working Designs' demise off their website. So I believe there was also a glut of these on the internet. You can find these brand new in eBay stores for $30. Used ones you can find much cheaper, complete copies for around $10. And it's a great platformer. Awesome platformer to start off with, and plus it's a treasure game, so you're getting 2 bangs for your buck here. Next up would be Thunder Force 5. Thunder Force 5 is also released off of the Working Designs Spaz label, and it's 1 out of 3 shmups that were released on the PlayStation 1. Now the reason I chose this one because out of the 3, this generally goes as for the cheapest. So if you're a fan of shmups, you probably already know about Thunder Force. You probably already played Thunder Force 5. But for those of you who don't and you're looking to start collecting for Working Designs, if you want to try out their shmup catalog, this is probably one of the best titles to pick up for cheap. For those of you who have a PS2 and you're looking to get something cheap in the bargain bin, you can grab Gun Griffin Blaze, which is basically a mech fighter. And you can get this, I mean, I've seen these going for $3.99 complete at the GameStop bargain bins. So you guys should check this out if mech titles are up your alley. And finally, last title I have to show off here is Silpy the Lost Planet. And this is also a PS2 title, obviously, and it was also a treasure shmup that was published in the States by Working Designs. This you can also find in the bargain bins at GameStop for less. So that's all I really have to show here for the cheaper Working Designs titles if you guys are looking to start off your collection or looking to just invest in more Working Designs titles without costing yourself an arm and a leg. Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching.